welcome to this week's episode of Let's Chat with Curry and Adrian. I'm your host, Curry Terrell. With me, as always, the wonderful Adrian McMillan.
Taking a sip of Diet Coke.
How is it?
It's pretty good.
I was like, are you going to say something other than
Well,
good?
I was like, is it cold?
Okay, well, is it cold?
It's pretty cold.
It's cool.
Cool.
It's refreshing.
It's refreshing.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. You know, we had some technical difficulties, but I'm learning on the fly, so here we go. Relearning on the fly, rather.
Exactly. I think you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I fixed it in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
How are you doing?
I feel awake. I feel alive. It's Saturday.
It is Saturday, which means this episode is going to be uploaded
on Sunday.
Tomorrow.
Post SAG Awards.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
That is crazy. So that's it. SAG Awards, a week off, Oscars.
And then the year is over. Our year is over.
Then they have the Writers Guild Awards, which are randomly like in April.
We don't care.
Why did they do that?
I don't mean to say we don't care, but
we care. We won't be watching
We
them.
won't be watching.
Where do those air?
I don't think they do.
YouTube?
I don't think.
You never know.
And Film Independent Spirit Awards as well.
Where do those air?
I think YouTube.
Okay.
And Twitter. They used to be on TV. On like the IFC channel or something like that.
I feel like they were on the CW.
Or maybe CW. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks so much to everybody who listened to our first episode last week. It was very nice.
What did y'all think?
If you hated it, say nothing. If you loved it, we want to hear from you.
And rate and review us. We need reviews.
Yeah, and if you have something negative to say in the reviews, that's fine, but we want 5 stars.
We have a pretty good streak going right now.
So if you want to put us 4 stars, don't bother. Stay away.
Yes.
We're going to go through today. So basically this week, next week, we're going to divide up all the Best Picture nominees in half. We're going to do half this week, half next week. That way, when you go into the Oscars in 2 weeks, you're ready. We are ready. We've seen everything. Mm-hmm. And before we get into that, we're going to go over a couple of the movies that we saw this week. Next week, we'll be seeing Dune.
I cannot wait.
We have really a crazy movie schedule, like always.
It feels like it's 7 days a week.
It gives me chills sometimes when I think about it.
Yeah, and we were talking about it. Like, we plan ahead.
I know.
At least 3 weeks.
So if you text us on a Thursday and say, "Can y'all hang out?" the answer is most likely no. And I'm not gonna lie, I usually pick that over random I mean, if it's an emergency, obviously,
right? We're
human.
Yeah,
but it's tough.
It is tough. We got to keep up. We want to have our finger on the pulse of movies,
yes,
and entertainment. We want to consume, digest.
Exactly.
It's just the way of our lives.
So
Sorry.
Are the days of our lives.
Yes.
The first thing that we saw this week was One Love, the Bob Marley movie.
Wow.
What did you think about it?
I haven't thought about it once since I saw it. And it's, I think, unfortunately, a scenario where trailer is better than the movie. We did see the trailer quite a bit leading into the movie.
1 million times, it feels like.
Yeah, but I loved the trailer. Especially that first trailer, it was like kind of teasery, kind of not. I was like, oh, this is going to be so good. And then just during the movie, I was like, oh, this is really not it.
Yeah. I think part of the problem is a lot of these films about legends, their family is involved.
Yeah.
They are involved.
Yeah.
Or it's somebody like Aretha Franklin where we don't want to disrespect Aretha.
Right.
So a lot of the plot and the film feels very surface level.
And it never really settles. It's like, I know his life was full of
course,
not necessarily controversy, but like things that were happening to him that were scary, and obviously other situational, personal life things. But it just was like, it didn't settle. Like, I wanted to be in the motions of his life, and I didn't feel like I was.
Exactly. And this movie, they chose to give like a snapshot of like a few years or like a year and some change of his story. And they just never really went there. It was like they were afraid to go. But I will say, he was incredible.
What is his name again?
Kingsley Benadir.
That's right. Absolutely fantastic.
I mean, also thinking about him in Barbie.
Right.
And then thinking about him in he disappeared into that movie.
Without a doubt.
They could not have found him. And if you watch interviews with him, he is nothing like that. Literally, I mean, he is acting.
And he's really good in the second season of the OA. Ooh.
Okay.
Really fantastic. And then he was also in the Regina King movie, right?
Yes, One Night in Miami.
Yeah, which
he's
I
Malcolm
didn't love,
X, I think.
But he's great. He's consistently always so good. And his wife,
Lashana Lynch.
so good.
Unreal. They did her so dirty in her big dramatic moment in the movie because they show her and she's sobbing, and they show her again and she has no tears, and they show her again and she's sobbing. And I thought, how did this happen?
The editors weren't looking out.
No.
Continuity.
But as like, okay, if you think of it in the realm of like, what's the Queen movie? Bohemian Rhapsody. It's that type of movie.
Yeah.
It definitely could air on like VH1 on a Tuesday.
Exactly.
It's not too deep. It's
No.
not too heavy. Of course, it's heavy, but like as far as a viewing experience in 2024.
Yeah.
But great performances.
Yeah. I don't know that I would feel the need to tell somebody you have to watch this movie.
No.
It's just like it's a non-event to me. You know?
Yeah. Movies like that being moved past the Oscar season is usually not a good sign.
Exactly.
And I think that I'm right in that opinion.
Me too.
It just like we saw it was coming out in February, it's like, oh.
You know, Curry now knows, since we've been back, or you've been back in Los Angeles, Patrick and I, while watching movies, like halfway through, we'll like give each other a thumbs up, side thumb, or thumbs down, just like upside down. Now we decide to do that. We said thumbs down, like halfway through the movie, multiple times.
Yeah. It was tough. The other movie we saw was also not great. Madame Web.
Arguably awful.
Like, okay, it was not like a -0.
-0.
I think part of we're not exactly Marvel people, even though this was in association with Marvel Studios. God bless Patrick. He broke that down to me in the car for like 20 minutes the other day. And I still am a little confused. It just doesn't make it.
Yeah.
But Dakota Johnson, I think, is very likable in interviews. No, not a film carrier, in my opinion.
It just falls flat again. It really falls flat. However, I do think, obviously, like, you can't not have fun watching people get like blown up and tossed around the room. And,
of course,
you know what I mean? That's always fun. But it just immediately out of the gate felt like a joke. And it never helps that we have such a bad influence from people talking about it. But you want to try to give it the benefit of the doubt, but it's impossible. It doesn't give you the chance. It starts out with them in the Amazon rainforest, the mom, and it's just awful. It's really bad.
Yes.
From the first 5 seconds.
Yes. I think, too, you had told me they rewrote it several times. And you can tell they tried to lean into Dakota's like dry, very sarcastic humor. But it didn't go far enough that direction.
Right.
And it didn't go far enough the serious direction. So it was just nothing.
Right.
Ultimately, nothing. The last 20 minutes, the entire audience was laughing.
Yeah.
The entire room was laughing.
That's not a good sign.
It's not a comedy.
No.
So it was painful. It was really painful.
Yeah, I think we'll sadly be recognized as one of the worst movies probably ever, and one of the worst comic book adaptations, even though obviously, and you don't know the source material, but you can just tell.
Yeah.
It's not good.
And like you mentioned the other day when we were walking out, Marvel doesn't own these characters, like the Spider-Man characters, so they have to like license them or whatever.
I think it's the other way around.
The other way around, whatever.
Yeah.
Marvel Studios should pay whatever it is to own all of it and be done with
all
it.
Under one roof, because it tarnishes the brand.
1,000, especially right now where it's already sort of on thin ice. It really is not good to have a movie like Madame Web.
No. Which is my way of saying
Madame
Web. No, I totally agree. Just pay. What is it, like $1 billion? Who cares?
Do it. Disney has the money.
Exactly. Who cares? If you don't ever make those movies or stories into movies, who cares? You at least protect the integrity of Marvel in quotations.
1,000%.
They need to hire us.
The other thing we saw this week, not film, we saw The Wiz at the Pantages.
But we did see another film.
We did, but I figured, well, we could space out. Would you like to talk about it now?
No. I do have a lot to say about The Wiz, though.
What? Go ahead.
I hated it.
But the singing was unreal.
Singing was so good. It just felt a little low budget, unfortunately. And I don't know if that's just because it's a touring thing. I don't know if it was because we're in this big room at the Pantages on Broadway. Those rooms are not that big. I don't know. Something didn't click for me. But they were throwing the notes, which I really loved.
There were definitely moments where I had chills with the singing.
Yeah.
The Wiz, the music is so fun.
Yeah.
The songs are so fun. A lot of Broadway shows now, and this was definitely a bad example of that as well, use just like a screen in the background instead of having like fully fleshed out sets.
Right.
But it is Oz. So
Right.
like there is a fantastical element that needs to be there, and having like a door and a set of steps on stage as your only set, or like flat trees that go by each other. That is not the mark.
And that's what I mean when it felt a little low. It felt like community theater.
But the costumes I thought were unreal. Glenda's dress.
Yeah, sure.
Or the witch's dress.
Sure. But 2 things out of 500?
No, stop. All of the main characters, I thought their costumes were unreal. The only time I didn't like the costumes was when they did Brand New Day and they went to the Gap. They were just like in a red shirt and blue pants.
Yeah.
I was like, no. No.
Overall, though, what a great family show.
Oh, yes. There were so many kids.
And it was funny. It made me laugh a few times.
Yes.
Like, I like that they kind of modernized it, obviously, with different quips.
It was
and
funny.
Personality types and all that stuff. That was fun.
Yeah.
But Wayne Brady was supposed to be the wizard, and he wasn't there.
He was sadly not at our performance. But Deborah Cox was Glenda.
That's right. And what song does she sing again?
She's saying, nobody's supposed to be here, which
That's
is
right.
such a bop.
I didn't know who that was at first, and you laughed really hard when I said that.
I literally I opened the program, and her name is above the title, which, you know, on Broadway, if Wayne Brady was above the title and he was not there, we could have gotten our money back.
Wow.
You could have asked for a rain check.
Wow.
But I think the tour, it's less
serious
rules like that. Also, like I asked you, were you disappointed when it wasn't Wayne Brady? It didn't like change my experience.
No. I love him on Let's Make a Deal.
Yeah. I love Wayne Brady, but we didn't go for Wayne.
No.
But the people behind me were
pissed
and talked about it before the show, in the middle of the show, and in the intermission. After that, I gave up on them.
Yeah.
We're about to get into some Oscar movies. And
so we're really not talking about The Taste of Things.
I said, do you want to?
Did we not watch that this week?
We also saw The Taste of Things.
I feel like that takes precedent over The Wiz.
Well, we're going to talk about both of them. The Taste of Things starring Juliette Binoche and her ex-husband.
Correct.
Benoit, and his last name has left my brain.
I don't know it either.
And it was France's submission for international film for the Oscars because they did not stick with Anatomy of a Fall for political reasons.
Right.
And it did not get nominated.
The Taste of Things did not get nominated. Anatomy of a Fall got nominated across the board.
Yes.
But this movie is exceptional.
Absolutely excellent in every way. There's that review they have in the trailer that's like, an experience like this, or like a film like this, has no peer, and it was like, and it like bangs on the screen, and I thought, okay, that's quite a review to have.
Yeah, it
better be good. It really was good.
Yeah. Do you want to say what it is about?
It is about this.
Do you remember how to do this podcast?
No, it is.
We're just gonna be like, oh yeah, we saw that. It was good. Okay.
It is about this man who lives in a manor, and we are introduced to her as his like kitchen staff, like his cook,
his counterpart,
chef. Exactly. Yeah. We very quickly learn that they have this very deep rooted romance, and they've shared this home together.
Yeah.
And that's like their way into the world. He's a foodie. He's obsessed with food.
Yeah.
And everything they do is like based around the food. And all of his friends come and they look at and they like obsess over food, talk over it. And so a lot of the movie is just them cooking.
It's a lot of just experiencing, like almost like fly on the wall a little bit.
Yes.
I told our friend Rachel, it's like very like meditative, like not a lot happens in it. So it's very quiet.
Yes.
There's no score. It's literally just like listening to the sounds of the kitchen and of the house and of the yard, the gardens, all that stuff. But truly cannot recommend enough.
The person who kept clearing their throat in Tenet last night,
Yeah.
had they been in that movie, we would have needed to leave.
Yeah. Or say something.
Please stop clearing your throat.
Yeah.
It couldn't be me. You'd have to do it. I could never be like, please. If they're talking, I'll be like, you need to stop.
Yeah.
Not clearing your throat. That was a tick, I think.
Yeah. He's like,
That was wild.
it was nonstop for 2.5 hours.
Literally. Juliette Binoche, unreal.
Beyond
The husband, unreal.
the movie making aspect of all of it, it's just so beautiful. Feels like you can smell everything, eat everything. It's
Yes.
just absolutely romantic.
Also, there is something about the level of actress that
Yeah.
she is where
Yeah.
she is immediately comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like a Julia Roberts thing
Yeah.
where like she walks on the screen and you're like at ease.
There was something about her hair that made me feel like, oh, you like, I believe you.
You
like
are this woman.
Exactly. I was like, oh my God.
Totally.
Obsessed.
Like an actress.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
Exactly right.
I loved it. Should have been nominated.
Totally agree.
She should have been nominated. He should have been nominated. The film should have been nominated.
But alas, we have 5 to discuss.
Well, as we have 5 to discuss.
And then 5 more.
We're going to start really heavy with The Holdovers.
That's not that heavy.
But with a really good movie, I mean.
I totally agree.
The Holdovers stars Paul Giamatti, Davine Joy Randolph, and Dominic Sessa.
It hit me like a ton of bricks in a way that I didn't expect. I thought it was going to be cute, funny, whatever. And I was like, oh, this is like an emotional powerhouse movie about like the dynamics of these 3 people that come from totally different walks of life. But again, in the same way that The Taste of Things just like transported me, this movie transported me. I was like, I am in the 70s in Boston at this school.
1,000%.
I couldn't, it was just, I have chills thinking about it.
The trailer for this movie sort of was styled in like an old trailer.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize the movie, I thought that was just like a trailer choice.
Yeah.
So when I saw it, I was pleasantly surprised that was like actually just how the whole movie was made.
Mm-hmm.
But it's about a professor at a like boarding school
Yeah.
who is the teacher for the holdovers who don't go home for Christmas break. So there's like 5 kids that eventually get whittled down to just 1.
Yeah.
And the head cook for the school also stays, and her son has recently passed away.
Yeah.
So it's dealing with like a million things.
Beyond.
Like obviously grief is a big piece of it. This man sort of being stuck in this school and like how he is greater than that or like isn't greater than that.
But he's also kind of a loner.
He's a curmudgeon.
Yeah. And then the son or the boy,
Yeah.
whose dad basically is MIA, and him trying to figure out like what does that mean for him.
Exactly. It really blew me away.
And it's nominated in literally basically every category.
I have it written down. Are you ready? Best picture, best actor, best supporting, best original screenplay, best editing.
Great. I think Paul Giamatti has a good chance.
I think he is winning. Through this award season, it's sort of been him and Cillian Murphy going back and forth.
Right.
But as time has gone on, he is just so charismatic.
Yeah.
And
There's
his
also,
speeches are helping him a lot.
Of course, that's always a big topic of conversation. And in addition, there's element of like having paid your dues.
1,000%.
You know what I mean? Like people loved him in Sideways. People loved him in like all these other movies.
Yep.
So there's like you kind of look at the climb, right? He's obviously in a later stage of his life in terms of working versus somebody like Cillian Murphy.
Yep.
But he has shown that he is this amazing actor, and this movie knocked it out of the park for him. So I don't see why he can't win. Maybe there'll be a tie.
That could be it. And Davine is winning.
I know you know me.
Yeah.
I never want to say that anything is guaranteed because we don't know that.
She's the guarantee.
She really, I would be very shocked if she didn't win.
I don't think she has lost a single thing yet.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Like even festival stuff. Like it's like Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah.
That year where it was like Jennifer Hudson literally just like
blew it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. Literally, she's gonna win. She's been killing it too with like all of her interviews and stuff. So funny, so personable. And again, she was on Only Murders. She had this like, so people that are watching award season, that caliber of like, she has a good familiarity going into it. And The Holdovers really shows her off in such a good way.
Yeah. I'm excited for, honestly, those three people, Dominic Sessa, Joy Randolph, and Paul Giamatti, what this cycle of awards means for them later.
Yeah.
Because like I want to see them in everything.
Yeah.
Especially
also a
the
great holiday movie.
Oh my God, amazing.
Perfect. It's like a bowl of soup.
Yeah.
Just like
exactly.
Comforting.
Yeah.
Sad, happy, you laugh a little, you cry a little.
Totally.
And it is available to stream on Peacock.
Love it.
If you want to watch it pre-Oscars.
Ask Curry for his login.
You can ask you. Sometimes I laugh about the people who watch stuff on my account. And then sometimes I see, like, who has been watching this?
Right.
Like, who did watch RuPaul UK versus the World last night before me?
We'll never know.
Reveal yourself. That's actually what this is about.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to talk about Maestro, starring Bradley Cooper, Carey Mulligan, Matt Bomer, Maya Hawke, and Sarah Silverman.
Wow.
Nominated quickly: Best Picture, Actor, Actress, Screenplay, Cinematography, Makeup and Hairstyling, Best Sound.
Jesus.
A lot.
I have a feeling it's not going to win anything.
100%. It's about Leonard Bernstein and his wife and their love and relationship.
The seasons of their relationship.
Exactly. Bradley Cooper wrote and directed it.
Yeah.
It is an amazing showcase for him.
Of course.
In all three of those areas.
Yeah.
And Carey Mulligan, in a different time, would have won every single... Like, it is the best... Like, a archetype of a best actress performance. She's funny. She has physical transformation.
Yeah.
She cries. She snots. She laughs. She has illness. Like
she shouts.
She shouts. She's stunning. Like it's just.
I would argue the movie is almost as much about her as it is about him.
100%. He has this. We're like you start to look at like his patterns, and like with The Star Is Born, with this, he definitely wants movies about a relationship at the core, but they sort of highlight this woman.
The alternate person.
He likes that.
Yeah.
A Star Is Born, he liked being like the champion for Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
He likes being the champion for Carey Mulligan. She's listed before him on the poster.
Yeah.
And it's literally a movie about his character.
Exactly.
Their marriage was obviously interesting. He was a gay man at that period in time.
Yeah.
Also, he was crazy famous in like a world that we don't know about now.
Exactly.
But he was on TV showing people how to make music. He was like a very famous what's the word I'm looking for?
Conductor.
Maestro.
Yeah.
And she was an actress on TV. She was famous in her own way.
Yeah.
And it is interesting looking at that type of situation from our viewpoint now. A lot of people have complained about the movie, saying like their marriage was like a hoax, but I think like it's just a different time. His family again was involved, and there were places they probably could have pushed further, but it went in a totally different direction where it's not really about that. It's about sort of them coming together instead of them falling apart.
Right. It's shocking how many people have a problem with Bradley Cooper.
I really do not get it.
I do get it, but I don't agree.
He's so likable.
He is likable, but people just believe that he is like trying to get an Oscar, which of course who isn't?
Yeah, of course.
But it is people's arguments are just like he is doing so much to like make these like Oscar baity movies. But I think Maestro is more of an Oscar bait movie than A Star Is Born.
1,000%.
And A Star, like, you know what I mean? He's amazing in both, so you can't argue that he was bad. So I don't know, but it is sad that I don't think it's going to win. I don't think it'll win anything, unfortunately.
But a huge movie.
Yeah.
People loved it.
Exactly.
It automatically greenlights whatever he wants to do next.
I agree.
And has he only directed those two?
I think so.
2 for 2 for me.
Without a doubt.
My biggest critique of him eternally. He loves to cry with no tears coming out of his eyes.
At least use a menthol stick, boo-boo.
A Star is Born, that part where he's in rehab and she goes to visit him and he goes, and there's no tears in his eyes.
It's
He had
shocking.
almost the exact same scene in this one. I'm like, I want one tear.
Yeah.
It would change the whole scene.
Exactly.
But he's great.
I agree.
I like Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, me too.
And that is obviously on Netflix.
Correct.
Next, we're going to talk about The Zone of Interest, starring, like, how do I put that
Do
in a
your
synopsis? Christian, is it Friedel?
Sure.
Sandra Hüller?
Let's ask my mom.
Okay. Nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Adapted Screenplay, International Feature Film, and Best Sound.
Wow.
It is about general sergeant, some sort of military ranking, who is living directly outside of a concentration camp
Auschwitz.
during the Holocaust.
Correct.
So they have this beautiful life juxtaposed to literally beside the wall of Auschwitz.
Correct.
And their family and how they're getting through it, and like this sunny disposition of life that they have while all these horrible things are literally happening on the other side of the wall.
Right. I'm obsessed with the movie.
The trailer is nuts.
Yeah.
It's basically just like images and sounds. And the movie is basically that.
Yeah. It's very well, obviously, like, I'm addicted to like learning how people make these movies. So like they filmed it like a reality TV show. Like they put cameras in the corners of the rooms and like didn't have camera people in a lot of the scenes. So like you're really just immersed in like how this family is existing.
Yeah.
But did you see? We saw Under the Skin, which is just one of the other movies that this guy most recently did, Jonathan Glazer.
Yeah.
That movie is like very art housey and like also about like your senses. Like, what are you
Tactical.
seeing exactly? What are you hearing? And that's how Zone of Interest is too. Just obviously with a little bit more of like a structured family environment
Exactly.
or atypical family environment.
Yeah.
But it's really devastating, very uncomfortable,
horrifying.
but just amazing.
The acting is unreal.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, watching them just exist in character. It's very theater.
Yeah.
And also, Sandra, we had seen her in Anatomy of a Fall earlier. This is like her year for sure.
Beyond.
And seeing her in this, where she was also incredible.
Right.
It gave me chills head to toe.
Could you watch it again? You said yeah.
I would like to see it one more time and
Yeah.
then I think put it away.
Yeah. I definitely want to see it again.
But I think it is really excellent. It's totally different than every other movie in the running.
Yeah.
And again, it leaves you, it's like all about feeling. Like you just feel like you just bathe
Kind
in
of
like
dread.
grease.
Yeah, exactly. Very much dreadful.
Yeah.
Because then you're also like, it forces you to think like, what are we just existing with?
100%.
You know what I mean? That we're just like, oh man, you know what I mean? Like just living
100%.
our life, eating McDonald's, you know, do whatever.
Yeah.
And all this other shit's happening in the world.
Exactly. Also, the score is
Oh my
so
God.
unsettling.
I'm obsessed with that.
So it adds to that feeling of just like your heart about to bust out of your chest.
These cheap IKEA cushions aren't doing nothing for my butt.
Your tush. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
I had to readjust. I'm sorry.
You're doing great. It is not streaming anywhere as of now. It probably will be a little bit closer, but
Yeah.
if you want to go see it, it is playing pretty wide right now.
And I think it's an A24 movie. A24 is supposed to have some deal soon with Max where their movies will be available there. So I think it will happen soon.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to talk about Barbie. What a change in pace.
Everybody knows what Barbie is.
Barbie, Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, America Ferrera. Nominated for Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress for America Ferrera. Adapted Screenplay, Costume Design, Production Design, and Best Original Song for I'm Just Ken and
Although
Enjoyment. I cannot believe she died.
R.I.P.
Barbie. What is there to even say at this point?
Everyone knows what it's about. Everyone loves it. It is the highest grossing Warner Brothers movie ever. Ever. Over Harry Potter.
Barbie. It's wild thinking about it. So I've seen it 3 times now.
Wow.
We saw it in IMAX.
Yeah.
I saw it with Greta, with Caroline.
Yeah.
And Greta came out and talked. With Cameron Crowe moderating. That was nuts.
Yeah.
And I saw it with my dad the day, like at the fan event or whatever. And every time, all I could think about is the phases that it went through, where it was like an Anne Hathaway movie, then it was an Amy Schumer movie, and then it ended up being here. And it really delivered exactly as it was supposed to.
Exactly. All of those things were supposed to happen.
When I first saw it, I thought it was going to be like the Flintstones, where it was like very tongue-in-cheek. They were making jokes about Barbie the whole time. Like, I did not think it was going to be heavy, like, have the drama element through it.
More contemplative about like women
Exactly.
and what that means.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I knew Greta was going to deliver. I had she is like pretty much a guarantee at this point that it's going to be good.
Yeah.
But so the first time I saw it, I think I was just kind of like, wow, this is not what I was expecting it to be.
Yeah.
But then when I saw it again, I was, I completely was like, oh, this is really something.
I was completely glued in from the first time we saw it. I think I've seen it now like 5 times.
It is such a fun movie.
Yeah.
It is it's also so available for everyone of every age, which I really appreciate about it.
Yeah.
The big hubbub with the Oscars, Margot obviously was not nominated for Best Actress. She is nominated as a producer for the film, so if it wins, she gets an Oscar.
Yeah.
And it is wild that she's not nominated. Greta not being nominated for director is insane.
Yeah, I know.
But that's the Oscar. It's competitive. There's always going to be people that are snubbed.
Helen Mirren, did you see her quote recently about like that whole situation? I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but she had a very funny, dry take on it. You know, she was like, Greta gave Warner Brothers the highest grossing movie they've ever had. Yep. Like, you can't take that away from her. Like an Oscar or not, she will forever be able to say that. And that, who knows, like will be maybe more iconic than her ever having her having an Oscar for it. She made the highest grossing movie for the 100-year-old studio.
Warner Brothers.
The studio.
Yeah.
One of the studios.
Yeah.
You cannot beat that.
I think it could go the same way. I think Billie Eilish is going to win.
Yeah.
If she is like, if there's a shocker, it will be I'm Just Ken. So either way, they're pretty much guaranteed song. Other than that, it may also not win other things. Screenplay, she has, I think, a lot of support because she was snubbed as director.
Yeah.
But again, it was the year of that movie. Yeah. Even with Barbie and Oppenheimer, yes, they were competing. Oppenheimer's huge and easily could win Best Picture, but Barbie was like the moment.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to see.
We'll have to see. And also, do you think they'll make a sequel? I keep seeing people talking about this. Or like, what do you think a sequel would be?
I don't know. It would have to be really good.
Yeah, I kind of hope they don't touch it.
Yeah, me either.
But we know how that goes.
Exactly.
They're remaking American Psycho, so then nothing is ever left alone. It is available to stream on Max.
Great.
Max.
HBO Max.
I hate that.
Max.
Okay, next we're going to talk about Oppenheimer, Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Robert Downey Jr., Florence Pugh.
Lastly, Oppenheimer, right?
Matt Damon, one more after this.
Are you joking? Oh, this is running late, baby.
I'm sorry.
You better speed it up. We like to stick to 30 minutes, baby.
Okay, take a pause, take a pee, and come right back. Oppenheimer is nominated for Picture, Director, Actor, Supporting Actress, Adapted Screenplay, Score, Sound, Production Design, Cinematography, Makeup and Hairstyling, Costume Design, Film Editing.
Wow.
And will win
a lot
of those.
A lot of those. We're in the minority, I would say, of like our friend group who love that movie.
I love it.
So do I.
It's such a well-made movie, which we saw Tenet last night in IMAX, which I had seen when it came out during the beginning of COVID on a plane.
Right.
So not the way it's supposed to be seen.
A 4-inch screen.
Seeing it in IMAX was... but what that leads to, Christopher Nolan, he knows what he's doing.
it's unbelievable.
It is such a good movie.
Yeah.
It's so well rounded.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to just watch, and all the actors are doing exactly what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. I think we briefly had said in our last episode, like Oppenheimer is more of like a courtroom drama, procedural type of situation.
Yes.
And that's what you have to go into thinking about. Like you're about to just watch actors act.
Exactly.
Almost like Doubt. You know what I mean? It's like these people are just acting. That's the best part of it.
Exactly.
I love it.
A lot of people think that Robert Downey Jr. is going to win. He's won a lot of the previous awards. And honestly, it's one of those like Laura Dern where it's like her in Marriage Story, she was doing the best Laura Dern she can do. Robert Downey Jr. is doing the best Robert Downey Jr. he's going to do.
Yeah.
It's a great part for him.
Yeah.
And I think he deserves it. Emily Blunt, I think she's great.
Yeah.
She definitely could have had like 2 more scenes.
Yeah, I think so.
Killian, he's amazing. Carries the whole movie, and you're never for a second lose trust in him.
And it's just wild to think that, like, sure, he has acted obviously in other things, but like never to this caliber.
No, but he was in Red Eye, which I love.
And when he gets stabbed in the throat with a pen, I always used to think about that.
I just watched it with my dad while I was home.
Can you imagine getting stabbed in the throat with a pen?
No, absolutely. I'd just say, finish me. Do it. If I'm ever tortured, I'm going to end myself. Don't worry. I won't make it. I'll say, just go ahead and be done with me. I don't want to see her like this.
Red Eye is a great movie.
Oh my God, so fun.
Yeah. It's again, another scenario like this guy obviously is not in the later stages of his life or acting career, but has paid his dues in a lot of ways.
1000%.
Especially with Christopher Nolan. He's been in a lot of his movies.
Yes.
And now he is like the star, and I think he deserves it.
It also has all of the Twitter boys, Josh Hartnett, obsessed.
Twitter boys?
You know, like those men that people show on Twitter and they're like, oh my God, I had such a crush on him when I was like 12. Maybe that's not a good term, but you know what I'm trying to
like
say.
Like a 90s heartthrob.
But like not just 90s, the boy from Drake and Josh.
Josh.
Thank you.
The guy from Sky High. Rami Malek.
Even Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Even Killian.
Yeah.
And I just think, who did this?
Yeah, they had again a great catalyst for having a casting Oscar.
Both of those, the two that we just talked about, all of them. But yeah,
absolutely.
What a cast! It was a great movie, but you definitely need to pee in the middle.
Yeah,
so it's good to pause. It's on Peacock. If you log into the app, you'll know it's on Peacock because literally every banner says Oppenheimer.
They want people to vote.
They want you to watch it, to see it.
Yeah.
The last movie we're going to talk about today, Poor Things. Emma Stone, Mark Ruffalo, Willem Dafoe, Rami Youssef, Christopher Abbott. Best Picture, Director, Actress, Supporting Actor for Mark Ruffalo, Adapted Screenplay, Original Score, Production Design, Cinematography, Makeup and Hairstyle, Costume Design, Film Editing.
Wow.
Quite a list.
Do you remember what happened to me when we watched this movie?
You fell asleep.
Yeah. Also, do you think they can hear above? The people above us are like moving their entire apartment.
Okay, I was thinking earlier while I was watching RuPaul. He likes to, or I'm saying he, it could be her. There's an older couple that lives above me, and they like to go. I'm guessing they're tapping their foot or their finger or something. But isn't it weird that I know that about them? I don't even know these people, but I know they like to tap as like a tick of theirs.
Maybe it's Morse code.
Maybe it is. I should look it up. Maybe they're saying help.
Anyway, yes, I fell asleep from the second this movie started. I woke up like halfway, and then my feet were wet from like sweating. I was hot. Like they were drenched.
I wish I could have slept.
It was not our cup of tea.
Have you seen it since?
Nope.
Do you think you'll see it again?
Nope.
The movie's about a woman who has a baby brain inside of her head. She kills herself, and they put a baby brain inside of her head. And then it's about
Frankenstein.
Exactly. It is exactly like Frankenstein. Willem Dafoe is like this mad scientist.
Yeah.
And then it's about basically all these people falling in love with her and her going and discovering her womanhood in the world.
Yeah. Which in theory is like a fun, quirky, weird idea. Obviously, it's based, I think, on a book.
Yep. Beautiful production.
Yeah.
Costumes, sets, the CGI, the green screen, all stunning.
Yeah. Very out there, very creative.
Score is great.
Yeah. I do remember, like, obviously, I didn't sleep for 2.5 hours, but I woke up, I watched some parts of it, I was like, eh. But it visually is very arresting. Like you're sucked in.
Yeah.
But it is a tough subject matter to think about. But a lot of people love it.
It is definitely, there is always a movie or two where I missed the boat. This is the one I've missed the boat.
Yeah.
It's not a good movie.
Yeah.
I actually really hated it.
Yeah.
And I think people are wanting to have sex with a woman who has a baby brain. That's literally the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, I don't know. I don't want to see.
There's no redeeming for you.
Well, the thing is, I don't need to see Emma Stone doing that to begin with, which is not fair.
Yeah.
She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
But it's all about her discovering her sexuality and like coming to terms with that, or that's a big chunk of the movie. And ultimately, Rami Youssef walks in the house and is immediately like, I'm in love with this woman, and she's talking in gibberish. What are you in love with?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All these people are in love with her.
Yeah.
She's literally a baby.
Yeah.
Or like, not well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, what? And then they all just want to have sex with her. There's nothing else to it.
Yeah.
I really did not like it.
Have you like read any like film criticisms about it that are like essays or anything where people are talking like positively about it?
Of course. Everybody loves it.
So is there something we're missing?
No. It's like, what was the one where the girl wanted to hook up with the boy who was in high school?
I don't know.
Licorice Pizza.
Oh.
I'll never be able to get past that.
Yeah.
She was in her 20s. He was in high school.
Yeah.
If it was a movie about a 20-year-old something boy hooking up with a girl in high school, it would have been banned the day it came out.
But you love May December.
May December, I didn't love that it was a teacher having sex with a young person, but
Sure.
I appreciated. But also, they weren't. Yeah, totally different. But yes, I see what you're saying.
Same concept.
Same concept.
I guess so. They were like in their later years.
But I'm in the wrong. Like
You're not in the wrong. We're just in the minority.
Yeah, I can go into it thinking like people really loved this movie, and I love Emma, and I root for her. I love all those people.
Yeah.
And I loved The Favorite. So it's not like I don't like him. You know what I mean?
And he seems to be really into making movies with her. So we'll at least get more chances to appreciate.
1,000%.
Yeah.
And if she wins, I'm going to be thrilled for her.
And it is looking that way.
I have a feeling she's going to win.
Over Lily Gladstone.
Who I also think should win. I think like this year, I'm telling you,
It's
it is
good.
stacked.
It's good.
Everybody who wasn't nominated, mainly Fantasia, who has my heart, I get it.
Yeah.
I don't want it, but I get it.
Totally.
So there's the first chunk of Oscar movies. Next week we'll come back and finish the other half. So if you didn't hear what movie you wanted us to talk about next week,
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We're going to wrap this up though with our songs of the week.
Do you want to go first?
I'll go first. My song of the week is Training Season by Dua Lipa. Adrian does not get on the Dua train.
I'm really not a fan.
I love it. It's like...
I do love physical, though.
Fun. Yeah, I do love physical. It's like fun, dance, pop. Like she is her own path.
Yeah.
And it's all good. It all kind of sounds the same, but I don't care. It makes me tap my toes like the people upstairs. I love it. It makes me have fun. Can't we have fun anymore?
I know. We can. My song of the week is Never Needed Me. Never Need Me, actually.
Never Need Me.
Never Need Me by Rachel Chinoriri.
Strange, but it's like a delight to hear your voice again. It's been a long time since I last saw you. You never swim, you planning
so good.
And it kind of went viral a little bit on Twitter because Florence Pugh randomly is in the music video.
Yeah.
But it is really, really good. I'm excited to listen to the rest of the album once it comes out.
Yeah, and that fun video.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions this week?
No questions.
Oh.
But if you do have a question, you can email us, let'schatwithcurry@gmail.com.
Please email us.
Please email. We'd love to hear you and ask your questions. We've talked about setting up a voicemail.
I'm going to look into it.
I think it could be a fun idea. We needed to ask our poll audience, a.k.a. Alex.
Yes, exactly.
Alex, if you're listening, do you think we should set up a voicemail?
I think yes.
I think yes.
I'm going to figure it out.
Thank y'all so much for listening. We hope you have the best week. We're going to have a good week. We're seeing Dune on Sunday. We're seeing Les Mis on Monday. I'm seeing S Club 7, a.k.a. S Club 5 on Tuesday.
Yeah.
This is about to be a week.
It's really, really stacked. And I see Dune again on Thursday. We have Problemista on Friday.
We might see How to Have Sex.
Yes.
Which is a film, in case that wasn't clear.
Correct. So, and you guys listening have a lot of movies to catch up on.
Y'all really better catch up. Because I don't want to hear that you just saw Barbie.
No. You can be a little bit more cultured than that. Oh.
Bye, y'all. Have a good week.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Let's Chat with Curry and Adrian. If you enjoyed the show, and we know you did, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review. Keep the conversation going by following me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter @CurryTerrell, and Adrian on Instagram @AdrianMcMill, and Twitter @YoAdrianMcMill. Discover our weekly song picks by adding our playlist on Spotify or Apple Music, all linked in this week's episode description. Got questions or feedback? Email us at letschatwithcurry@gmail.com. See you next time. Bye, y'all.